Picture this. It's the early 1980s. Tokyo's skyline glows with ambition. Bullet trains slice through the countryside at record speeds. Japanese engineers and designers are the envy of the world, their innovations setting new standards in cars, electronics, and manufacturing. But there's more beneath the surface. The Bank of Japan, wielding its secret weapon, window guidance, doesn't just set interest rates. It quietly tells banks where to lend and how much. Industrial titans receive rivers of cheap credit, fueling an economic engine that seems unstoppable. In boardrooms, executives strategize global takeovers. In factories, workers perfect the art of Kaizen, continuous improvement, driving productivity to heights never seen before. Japan's GDP soars. Its stock market becomes the second largest in the world. Meanwhile, the West grows uneasy. American automakers lose market share. Politicians warn of a Japanese takeover. In response, the United States imposes trade restrictions, limits car imports, and slaps tariffs on motorcycles. But Japan adapts, moving production overseas and finding new markets. Then, in 1985, the Plaza Accord changes everything. The world's major economies agree to weaken the dollar and strengthen the yen. Overnight, Japanese goods become more expensive abroad. Exporters reel, but Japanese consumers cheer as foreign goods become affordable. The government responds with a flood of easy money. Interest rates drop. Banks lend even more. Real estate prices skyrocket. In downtown Tokyo, a single square meter of land is worth more than a house in Manhattan. The Nikkei stock index soars past 38,000. Ordinary people become paper millionaires. Companies buy up global icons, Rockefeller Center, Pebble Beach, Columbia Pictures. It feels like Japan has cracked the code of capitalism. The world watches, spellbound and anxious. Is this the dawn of a new economic order? But every miracle has its cost. By the late 1980s, the warning signs are clear. Real estate prices are detached from reality. Stock valuations defy logic, yet the party rages on. Then, in 1989, the Bank of Japan acts. Interest rates rise sharply, the air hisses out of the bubble, and then it bursts. The Nikkei crashes, losing half its value in months. Land prices plummet. Overnight, fortunes are wiped out. Companies that borrowed heavily find themselves underwater. Families who bought homes at the peak watch their equity vanish. Debt becomes a suffocating weight. Banks, once engines of growth, are now loaded with bad loans. They stop lending, hoping to survive. The government hesitates, fearing public outrage if it bails out the banks. The result? A vicious cycle. Falling prices lead to less spending, which leads to more falling prices. This is the start of Japan's lost decade. Businesses close, unemployment rises, young graduates struggle to find work, the mood shifts from exuberance to anxiety, people hoard cash, fearing for the future. In 1997, the crisis deepens. Several major banks and financial institutions collapse. The government is forced to step in, using taxpayer money to rescue the system. But the damage is done. The lost decade stretches into two. The Bank of Japan tries something radical: quantitative easing. It buys government bonds, floods the market with money, and hopes to spark inflation, but it's not enough. Why? Because deflation isn't just an economic problem, it's psychological. People expect prices to fall, so they delay purchases. Companies, seeing weak demand, cut wages or freeze hiring. The cycle feeds on itself. Even as the rest of the world grows, Japan stagnates. The 2008 global financial crisis hits Japan's exports hard. Factories close. Towns that once thrived on manufacturing become ghostly quiet. Yet Japan's society remains remarkably stable. Crime stays low, Public services function. The trains run on time. But underneath, a sense of malaise lingers. The population begins to shrink. The average age rises. Schools close for lack of children. Rural towns empty out as young people flock to the cities or leave the country altogether. In 2012, a new hope emerges. Shinzo Abe, returning as Prime Minister, unveils Abenomics, a bold plan to shock Japan out of stagnation. The first Aero monetary policy. The Bank of Japan unleashes unprecedented quantitative easing, buying not just bonds, but stocks and corporate debt. Interest rates go negative. The yen weakens, helping exporters. The second Aero fiscal policy. The government spends big on infrastructure and social programs, but each time the economy shows signs of life, a new consumption tax hike hits, pushing growth back down. The third Aero structural reform. Corporate taxes are cut, regulations are eased, trade deals are signed. There's a push to get more women and older workers into the labor force. Immigration, long taboo, is cautiously encouraged. But the results are frustrating. Inflation creeps up but never hits the 2% target. Wages stagnate. Companies, flush with cash, invest abroad or reward shareholders, but hesitate to raise pay or hire aggressively. The real challenge becomes clear. Japan's population is shrinking. Every year there are fewer workers, fewer consumers, less demand. The old playbook, stimulate demand, spark inflation, doesn't work when the population is falling. Yet, Japan refuses to surrender. New ideas are debated. Some economists call for helicopter money, direct cash payments to households, bypassing banks and corporations. Others argue for higher minimum wages, stronger unions, and policies to reduce inequality. There are calls to make immigration easier, to welcome foreign workers and students. Some towns offer free land and cash incentives to families willing to move in and have children. But change is slow. Cultural resistance remains strong. Many Japanese still prefer stability over risk, savings over spending, tradition over disruption. The stakes couldn't be higher. This isn't just about economics, it's about the future of a nation. Will Japan become a model for aging societies, finding new ways to thrive without growth? Or will it fade into irrelevance, a cautionary tale for the world? Despite everything, Japan endures. Life expectancy is among the highest in the world. The streets are safe, the food is exquisite, the culture is rich and vibrant. Most government debt is held by the Japanese themselves. No foreign creditors can force a crisis. But the lesson is clear. There are no easy answers. Monetary policy alone can't revive a shrinking, aging society. Fiscal stimulus must reach those who will spend, not just corporations. Real reform means empowering workers, raising wages, and welcoming newcomers. Japan's story is both a warning and an inspiration. It shows the limits of easy fixes, the dangers of complacency, and the enduring power of resilience. As the world faces its own demographic and economic storms, every nation has something to learn from Japan. Japan's journey isn't over. The next chapter is unwritten. Will it be a renaissance or a retreat? That depends on the choices made today. For now, Japan stands as a testament to the drama of economics, the unpredictability of fate, and the enduring spirit of a people who refuse to surrender. If you found this story gripping, hit like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. What do you think is next for Japan? And what lessons can your country learn from this epic economic